Friday, April 24th, 2020. Hopefully you're doing well. The world is still fucked, but we're all continue to moving forward. So let's get to it. Starting with Mr. Cory Schnozzcast.
Oh, hey.
How are you, sir?
Oh, good now.
And is Danielle Finn.
Hello.
Hello. Looking lovely as ever.
Thanks.
And Mr. Joseph Guido.
Yeah, how's it going, Bob?
It's good, sir. How you doing?
It's not bad. It's
Yeah,
going
not bad.
good.
Yeah. You doing well? Hanging in there?
Yeah. Ate some sausages and
Eat some sausages?
drinking some brews.
Yeah, some brewskis. Appreciate it.
Watch the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
So everybody looks like they're still healthy. That's all good. Danielle, where are your dogs?
Out there with Cory.
Somewhere out here.
I shut the door so I couldn't come in.
Smart move. It applies to dogs and boyfriends alike. So I applaud your initiative. Joe,
Yeah.
rocking what I discovered just recently was the Three Ninjas wallpaper behind your Zoom session.
Damn right.
Well played.
One of my favorite childhood movies.
Yeah. I only see two ninjas.
Joe's the third ninja. Joe's the third ninja.
I'm the
Well, okay. What are the names of the ninjas again?
over my left shoulder is Colt. Behind me is Tum Tum. And the guy to the right that looks like he's going to get shot is Rocky.
Colt, Tum Tum, and Rocky. Is that right?
Yep.
All right, just gonna say, I don't know who wrote that script, but those are horrible names for ninjas.
That's a great movie, though.
It might be a great movie, but horrible ninja names. I'm no judge of ninja names.
Their grandfather, who was a grand ninja, came up with those names.
A grand ninja?
Or master ninja, whatever the fuck they're called.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was because he's a grandfather. He's like, oh, I'm the grand ninja.
He's a ninja.
I just assumed the movie's full of dad jokes.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Sorry.
I'll tell you what, 3 of the most bumbling, stupid bad guys in any movie, the best ones, because they're so stupid and they're teenagers. You got to watch it. Maybe that'll be my
you know what?
dream.
That's actually a great point. Let's
Good one.
detail off of that one. And we'll talk a little bit later about movies with the dumbest bad guys.
There we go.
All right. So as we've been doing for the past 5-6 weeks, we're talking about when it comes to coronavirus. Let's give some good news. Sorry, copyright John Krasinski 2020. Rather than some bad news. So the good news story I have for this week, Mr. Cory Schnozzcast.
Yes, sir.
That there is a sanitizer that is in high demand these days. A lot of shoppers are picking clean the store shelves between hand sanitizer, bread, paper towels, toilet paper. Those things are all just flying off the shelf. You can't really find hand sanitizer anywhere. However, a lot of liquor manufacturers, distillers, if you will, are shifting their business model to create hand sanitizers because of I think 60%, or is it 60 proof ethyl alcohol that needs to be in the hand sanitizer in order to make it something that would kill virus.
It has to be at least, I want to say 60% alcohol.
60% alcohol, right?
In order for it to be considered hand sanitizer.
That's 120 proof.
Right. So to there is a Polish liquor. I'm gonna take a ill-advised shot at the name called Spiritus Rectificowani.
Yeah, spiritus.
Well,
What it's called.
Ring a bell? Okay. Have you had it?
Oh, yes, I have in a garage in Hamtramck years ago. It's It's like the real strong sambuca.
Is that what it is?
Basically, yeah. It's like a. I mean, even in the bottle, when you hold the bottle, and then usually any bottle you get of it, it's not going to have a label on it.
Okay.
It's not really sold. The good stuff, from what I was told, is not sold in stores.
So it's like some guy just makes it in his bathtub and pours it into a bottle.
Most likely, a Polish guy at that. So,
Is it better than bison grass? Grass is the worst thing I've ever fucking tasted.
bison grass?
yeah, I know we talked about that the other day, but I've never had bison grass.
Ugh, it's horrible. It tastes like liquid baby powder.
Wow.
Good. Yeah, not good.
Okay, so this is what I learned. Credit where credit is due. The Wall Street Journal for this particular article, but it is the hottest hand sanitizer in New York City at the moment.
Hottest as in temperature, or hottest as in
like
selling?
Stylish.
seller? Yeah, it's 96% alcohol by volume. It's one of the strongest liquors that you could buy or shelf, not behind the counter at a liquor store, but on a store shelf today. And so it's being packaged now by some manufacturers with a flammable warning.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know what your review. Well, you kind of went into a little bit your review of it, but one review that the Wall Street Journal quoted was someone who called it "death in a bottle with a hellish burning aftertaste."
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Spiritus would be kind of close to that. I mean,
That's what they were describing Spiritus with that quote.
Oh, that's how they're describing Spiritus. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I guess it wasn't that bad to me.
A seasoned alcoholic, yeah. I mean,
Right.
And a Polish gentleman of the Polish persuasion.
I'm sure though, like I'm sure, like, and I only had like one or two shots of it. I'm sure if you were to actually get bombed on it, it probably wouldn't be too great after several shots of it. It was easy enough to stomach one when you're feeling all right.
Apparently, back when the virus it hadn't even really kicked into gear in the States yet, but at the end of February in Japan, they sold out of Spiritus because it was it was already in high gear there, and they were afraid about COVID-19. And they'd already been in runs on the shops and the markets for hand sanitizer. So now today in New York, in Polish neighborhoods, they sell over 1,000 bottles every 2 weeks.
Jesus.
which is amazing to me. And obviously we have an ambassador of the Polish community, Mr. Cory. And I thought it was very apropos to talk about this real quick. Apparently it used to be big amongst the drinkers who've ever tried absinthe.
Okay.
And in Poland during in the communist era under the of communism, Polish people hoarded it, so they could distill it rather cheaply into vodka, or they mixed it with carnation oil, so they ward off mosquitoes. And if you had a cold, you'd take a little Spiritus.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Us Polish people and our remedies for shit.
Apparently, making hand sanitizer out of Spiritus is easy.
It's in my blood.
It's easy to do, apparently, according to a Polish Facebook.
Well, yeah, it's very easy to do. 1, open the bottle. 2, pour on hands.
No, they don't. They actually take 3 parts Spiritus and 1 part aloe, and that makes
give it a little gel.
Yeah, otherwise liquid. It's
that's like the stuff that we got from Detroit City Distillery. It's like when you go to pump it from the bottle into your hand, it's literally like just shooting a stream of water into your hand.
Yeah,
because there's no gel base to it whatsoever.
Right. And in the case of Spiritus, some of the manufacturers are adding a lavender fragrance to it to kind of offset that, but users have still said still smells like alcohol.
Oh, I would not doubt it.
So I thought that was pretty cool. And I'd never heard of that particular brand of spirit before, but I am not surprised that you have.
Yeah, and it's really, like I said, it's not one you really come by that often in the stores or anything. I mean, if you really looked for it, I'm sure you'd find it. But again, like I said, I was told the good stuff will never be sold in the store, and it won't have a label on it. So,
Is that what you were told?
probably have to go deep in the depths of Hamtramck somewhere to get a couple bottles of that.
We might have to do that just to.
I bet if we went to Polish Village and started our seeking there, they would probably get some pretty good insight.
Yeah, I think we should definitely do that.
I agree.
Once we can actually get in the car and go to a store there.
Right.
And while we're there, go get some, pierogi.
That would be all right with me.
Yeah.
Underground pierogies.
Well, technically, literally every time I've gone there, it's been underground.
There you go.
So I know here in Michigan, it's April. Sorry, did I say the 24th? Yeah, we started just before midnight. Now it's the 25th. But on April 25th, we just got an emergency announcement over everyone's cell phones in the state saying that they're extending the stay at home another month, but that if you go out, they want everybody to wear masks and not necessarily N95, but regular face masks that whether it's a bandana or whether it's something you could buy, you can wash. But I saw actually a pretty cool video that I won't say it like, oh, now I get it, but it was really interesting to see. I can't remember what channel I saw it on or what show it was on, but they were using lasers they took a guy, put him in a dark room, and they used lasers to track the particles from when he spoke, when he coughed, and when he sneezed. And whatever they told us about like 6 feet social distancing or like a sneeze goes like 6 feet or 8 feet or whatever.
Not true at all.
It's like 28 feet. It's a very, very long distance. If somebody sneezes and you are in the path, you're gonna catch. If you don't have a mask, you're kind of fucked. But it was really kind of cool the way they showed the lasers, with somebody just talking, and then when they put just a cloth face mask over their mouth, it was like 95% of it was cut out. You could still see a few come out, but the distance that they went was way shorter, and there were far, 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 far less or far fewer particles you could see. So that was kind of cool. I'd never really seen a demonstration of, in that way of how that worked, or, what some of the factors were behind it. But obviously the whole country wants to open up again. Everybody wants to get back to work, but it's still kind of up in the air as to whether or not in the next month they're gonna do that in some form or fashion. I know Cecilia's summer job just got canceled, which sucks.
What was the summer job?
She worked last summer at Interlaken. Up in not in the UP, but up towards
Traverse City.
Yeah, on the way to Traverse City, almost there. But I guess they're going to do some stuff online now. But she was like a camp counselor, so there's really not much for her to do.
Gotcha. That sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. And she was looking forward to potentially moving into an apartment with girlfriends for the upcoming school year 2020, 2021. And I do not think that's going to happen at this point. They're still optimistic, but we'll see. What else? It's just going to be really interesting if they're not already thinking about it, they've got to. At some point, they got to decide, are they going to go forward with a regular school year?
I saw an article today. Oakland already made a statement about what they're going to do next year.
What are they going to do?
Let me pull up the article so I don't give you misinformation.
Everyone's going back to school tomorrow.
We've decided to kill all of the children.
Kids are showing up at school everywhere in the county.
Yeah, but
reform school for everybody.
That's how we roll in Oakland County.
Guys, I heard Schnozzcast. It's credible news.
What we're going to do is
remember, you heard it here first.
Okay, so the plan is for in-person lab classes, they're going to have them limited to a small number of students. They're going to have to wear masks and be tested before they come into the room. Larger classes, it looks like they're going to instead of doing like 250, they're gonna do like 50 in like that size room, so there's more space.
Right.
The ballrooms are gonna be converted into classrooms. It says they're gonna limit the number of large classes on campus, and a lot is gonna be online.
Okay.
The sports teams will still play, but they will be tested for the virus frequently with no spectator at any of the events.
Yep.
They'll have to wear masks. Dorms will be open. 20% of Oakland students on campus, so it's easy to keep a social distance. And that way, a lot of the will have to be living at home.
Right.
And then it said frequent testing of the students, staff, and the facility will happen.
Okay.
I wish this happened when I was in school. Then I have to see half the fucking kids that I hated.
Yeah. They're
I don't know.
still like trying to figure out like the best way to have it still go about. But they're expecting for like MSU and Wayne and people to kind of follow suit.
Yeah. Thank you. That's I did not know that. That's really interesting.
My uncle just posted it like 40 minutes ago.
I can tell you that if I was going to school from home when I was a kid, nothing would get done. The only thing that got me doing any work was the fact that I had to actually get my ass on a bus and go into the school.
Dude, my parents would kick my ass. Made me
Do you
get shit
have a question, sir?
I do. How many colleges out there, or schools for that matter, have that many ballrooms that they're converting into classrooms?
I don't know. It's in like the student union.
I think whereas once upon a time, Cory, ballrooms were off limits to students unless you were going to a dance. Now you're going to be taking classes in their ballroom.
The ballrooms are like big conference rooms, like at a banquet hall.
Yeah, you're not going to see them at like elementary schools, but MSU's got a shitload of them.
Right.
I would think conference room would be a better term, not ballroom.
But they call them ballrooms.
A lot of the conference rooms are ballrooms that have dividers where they break a ballroom down into like 3 or 4 different conference rooms.
Exactly.
But you take dividers out to expose, if you will, the whole ballroom.
Oh, that's
we here to learn, or we here to dance? Would you like to dance? Yes.
I was talking about this with Cecilia today. We're not going to be. I had a ton of concert tickets that I bought for the summer, a bunch, and I've already had one. Grateful Dead cancel their tour and are refunding the money, which is pretty cool. But every other show I bought tickets for is still going to go, but they're just finding a new date. So I'm waiting to hear.
Well, that's something that I put in the notes for this episode the other day.
That I mentioned.
Danielle might have seen it come across the Amazon Echo.
Credit
No, I didn't. I
Yeah,
saw
you
an
did.
article that I read.
You didn't.
I read an article, and then I told you about it. Don't
Girls.
lie.
Knows all.
Girls.
Knows all.
So,
I
anyways,
have a lot of free time.
on the Amazon Echo the other day, Danielle saw this little blurb come up.
It was not on the Amazon Echo.
There's talks that concerts might not resume until 2021.
Well, that's what we were talking about, concerts and sporting events. I don't see either one of them happening with spectators until they get a vaccine. There just isn't any way that I can see they're going to do it. But I do not see them. There's no way they're not going back to play. So that means the contact sports, like I wouldn't count, tennis or baseball, but the contact sports, football, hockey, basketball, are gonna football, hockey, basketball, no contact.
Generous of you to put basketball in there.
There's fucking because crazy contact in basketball.
I was gonna say
Oh my
the
god!
2 sports that were playing during all of this, players have both gotten the virus.
Wait.
All dudes rubbing
Wait a
their
minute.
face in their armpits while they're going up for a
Basketball may have contact, but it is not a contact sport.
No, but
every time you touch a guy,
foul. Okay,
foul.
You understand what I'm talking about, right? Physical contact.
I know.
Skin to skin. You're not getting skin to skin in hockey, but there's still contact.
You're getting close enough, yeah. They're playing the mat. They're
You're
playing
covered in pads, dude. You're not close enough.
No, but you can hit faces and stuff like
But
that.
when we're talking about in the context of contracting a
Okay,
deadly
so
virus,
or you're in the corner fighting over a puck and
true. But I don't
they're
see.
playing they're pushing the Masters back the fall because they can't, so they're
Right.
going to play golf because that's the best sport to
Right.
play because you're
They're
far away.
A drop in temperature in late August, early September, coinciding with the virus coming back.
That's true.
But NFL, NBA, NHL, they're all going to have to come back and play games, but they're probably going to do it with empty arenas. And I know that players like LeBron were like, I will not play to no fans. I will not play. But I don't think they're going to have a choice at this point.
I was going to say, if it states somewhere, if they have to renew a contract or anything like that, that states, well, yeah, you're not going to get paid unless you play. And let's see how quick that changes.
I don't think anyone of LeBron's level would ever sign a contract that says no play, no pay.
You know what, though? In those kinds of sports, you play different when there's a crowd cheering and going nuts. It's going to be a different game that you watch.
Yeah.
That's
But the rest of us, the rest of the world, and especially their fans, are going to find it pretty difficult to swallow the fact that LeBron can't perform when the rest of us are all changing our lives.
Right.
This virus,
I
dude,
fucking
suck
hate
it up.
LeBron James. I hate LeBron James. How good I am. I'm so good. I can't do this. It's going to screw everything up. Just fucking play. They're paying you. Just play.
I will say I'm on board with you because I am like someone like Barry. Anyone and at the end of the play, flip the ball to the right.
Never show.
Yeah, I don't like showboats.
Never showboat. Jesus Christ! In football nowadays, they make a tackle and they're like, going nuts, doing this. Be like, dude, you made a tackle. Right.
It's you want and you stop.
Exactly. Move on. Just get back to the line. Get the fuck. Yeah.
And now it's gonna be 3rd and 8.
Right.
Just to finish out the housekeeping, I think the last thing I wanted to mention was if I know we got a lot of parents out there in our audience, a lot of people with kids love the Schnozzcast. Hopefully you're not letting your kids listen, but having kids, you love the Schnozzcast.
We're clean. Nice.
So
I got a kid's picture behind me. A kid's movie. Children.
Those people aren't kids anymore, man. They're grown up now.
No. Well.
In that vein, for the parents, I'd like to talk about this fucking article about some museum tours. And if you have kids, this is something I know I did it for Henry Ford Museum, Zimbabwe. Because they have the and automobile museum in the world. So in that vein, a lot of parents take their kids to museums for tours, either during summer breaks or on the weekends. That sort of may even go with their classes. But there's a whole bunch of them of famous museums that are now offering virtual tours that you can take right from home, especially if you're still doing quarantine or your kids aren't, by now your kids aren't going back to school. School year's done. I think it's pretty much been done for everybody by now. And that means they're at home now. They're going to be home for the foreseeable future because now they're going into the summertime. So if you're looking for something to do, just Google free museum tours or virtual museum tours, and you'll find them. Some of the ones that offer virtual tours: the British Museum in London, New York, or as the New Yorkers say, fucking Guggenheim. The National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C., in Paris, in Seoul, the National Museum of Modern and Contemporary Art, in Berlin, the Pergamon Museum, the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam, the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam, the J. Paul Getty Museum in L.A., the Uffizi Gallery in Florence, Italy, the MASP in Sao Paulo, Brazil, the National Museum of Anthropology in Mexico City. All of these offer virtual tours right off their website. I do not know how many of them are free. Let's assume none, but it'd be awesome if some of them were.
So I would doubt that. They're free.
Can I input on that?
Yeah.
Don't go to Mexico City because you're liable not to leave alive. They'll cut your arms off and string you up from a bridge.
I think it'd be actually
Don't
pretty
go to Mexico.
awesome to know that if you took a virtual tour, it would be virtually robbed.
Oh, these are virtually. Oh, I thought you were telling them to go there. I'm like, no.
No,
Oh, nobody
virtual
can go
tour,
anywhere.
I can go wherever I want. Danielle.
Joe Guido, ladies and gentlemen. Picking up what I'm throwing down with records.
I was picking when you mentioned the virtual part of it.
Oh, well, that explains why you couldn't hear what I was saying.
Uh-huh.
All right, so that's housekeeping for.
I heard you through my nose.
All right, so I gotta. I've been kind of listening to like some old timey radio. I kind of went down this rabbit hole, but everybody here on the podcast has seen Christmas Story, right?
what's that?
Unfortunately,
It's called A Christmas Story.
A Christmas Story. Can you describe the plot? I don't know if I've seen this.
It's a story that takes place around Christmas. Telling of this in a movie form.
not.
I'm sorry. I agree with Joe.
There are much better movies that deserve 24 hours than Christmas.
Such as?
Christmas Vacation,
No, absolutely not.
White Christmas,
Absolutely not. Hard no.
Christmas. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is not better than A Christmas Story.
No.
Yeah, definitely
Well,
not.
I'm glad you think so.
No, in my mind, that is
Thank you, Danielle.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Exactly. I can't fucking stand that movie.
So awesome. Let me continue talking about it then. So the Christmas Story, the story of it was based upon the screenwriter. The guy who actually did the voice of the narrator in the film was Gene Shepard, who had a radio show in the 60s, late 50s, early 60s. I want to say it was out of New York. I could be totally wrong about that.
Oh, you know a lot about it then. That's good.
So I found a website that has like a ton of old recordings of his radio show, and I just started playing them. My dad used to love all that shit because he grew up in a time where people, were at some point when he was very young listening to the radio. There was no TV, and he's got a way with telling stories. But I'm trying to find my white whale. The thing that I'm looking for are the episodes that plant the seeds for the story that was A Christmas Story. The stories that because it was all based on his experiences growing up, his friends, holiday stories with his old man, with his family, that came out of his radio show. So that's kind of my white whale. I'm going through these episodes going where I just need little seeds, like tell me the story about how Schwartz had Schwartz got his, when he had the life buoy in his mouth, and he his mother wanted to know where he heard the bad words. And he's like, Schwartz told me.
Is this when during or like before or after you're working on your AARP stuff? Yeah,
It's filing that Social Security.
While I'm
radio show, I'm really trying to find it quite well.
Put on my spectacles.
Hey, boy, howdy.
Put on my spectacles.
Howdy.
And I look down my nose and I try to look at the key and I go, why won't this laptop work? I don't understand technology.
My reading candle's not bright enough. Ebenezer.
You're lucky I'm in a great mood.
Good. I'm in a good mood too. Surprisingly.
I am surprised. I think we all are.
I'm in a good mood tonight.
All right, Cory, looking back, I got 31 minutes in, sir.
Yeah, we're a little past that time, huh?
That's time for a shot. Oh, before we do that, how's the Facebook Live audience looking? Plentiful, I assume?
Yeah, it's
emotion that you don't want to know. It's the number so low. It's distressing.
No, it's we started out really strong. It's gone up and down. But
Okay. I noticed you used no actual digits there or numbers in that reference. I appreciate you letting me down easy.
For starting at midnight on a Friday night, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, because a lot of people are at the bar and they're obviously not home. Why would they listen to us?
I mean, at midnight, I don't know. Maybe it's just a little too late for some people. But our one loyal listener is in the room and commenting.
Yeah.
Miss Gina.
I suspected as much. I assume all her comments are glowing reviews.
Well, I mean, believe it or not, she did not agree with Joe on A Christmas Story.
Yes.
Gina.
Yeah, she wasn't too pleased with your comments there.
Good for her.
She must not be a child of the 90s like you are, Joe.
She's not.
But I do have to get up to grab the fireball. So
yeah, so do I. So we're gonna do a little experiment here. Joe and Danielle are gonna hold down the fort. Joe and
Who goes fastest? Ready? Go.
Ready, break.
Hurry.
Right, Joe and Danielle, you got it.
You better go.
We'll be fine. Danielle, I can't fucking stand that movie. 24 hours.
I never minded it before, but once they started playing it 24 hours, I just can't. Ooh.
It's dumb.
That was close.
The one thing that...
Well, here's the thing.
The one worst joke. Hold on, let me finish.
Hang on. I'll concede to Bob because I got to go back and fill up my drink as well.
In that fucking movie is when his brother comes down in that pink bunny outfit, and the dad's like, he looks like a pink nightmare. I'm like, that's not even funny. And everyone's like, oh, pink nightmare joke. And I'm like, that's so stupid. It's not funny at all.
Oh, I know. All the jokes at Christmas Vacation are highbrow.
I know they're trying to make it like a dad, to be like a dad joke, but even my dad wouldn't say that fucking thing.
My dad did say shit like that, and he's a dad.
Well, my dad's a dad too, and my dad doesn't say stuff like that. Kids, look, a deer. I would have to go with Christmas Vacation before Christmas.
I love Christmas Vacation.
White Christmas.
I don't think I probably should watch White Christmas more than I have, but I don't know that either one of those merit like a marathon.
I'd say White Christmas because of the entertainment. There's dancing, there's singing. I mean, they're actually doing this. You know, they're
not robots.
No, they're not robots.
Their stunt robots aren't doing the dancing.
No, it's not stunt people.
Is it Fred Astaire? Who's in White Christmas?
Danny Kaye and Bing Crosby. I mean, come on.
Oh, okay.
Vera Ellen, Rosemary Clooney.
Dancing, I assume.
Oh God, it's.
He was taking a break from beating his children to go out and have a few drinks. And
only one of his children said that. The other ones did not say that.
Yeah, because they were beaten into submission.
How do you think he got the name Bing? Bing.
Oh, hold on, Danielle's doing a shot. What are you doing a shot of, Danielle?
Rum chata.
Woo! All right.
What a surprise.
See, Cory, take a lesson from this. Notice Danielle was all set up before she even went in that room. She didn't have to go get it. It's right there.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't even notice her take that in there. So clearly it was there before I got home.
Yeah,
no, it wasn't.
Someone needs
I grabbed it out of the fridge when you were setting all your stuff up.
Someone needs to take lessons from someone else in preparing for the
I wanted to make sure I was prepared.
Exactly. That's my point.
It's kind of hard to be prepared when you're coming straight from work.
Well, I can't help you.
Cory, you could have set your shit up in the morning before you left.
Yeah,
it was already all set up.
She said you were setting it up.
Shit.
I saw you farting around in your shaving bag.
I had to unscrew a piece of the back of the light so I could plug a battery in. That was it.
I don't know. You were doing something in that little bag of yours.
Yeah,
grabbing my light.
Take that long. All right. So,
which is why we started at midnight. Oh yes, of course.
For the few listeners in the room, here's to you. Drink with us if you will. It's Friday night.
Friday.
Not as cold.
It's good stuff. Woo! I got better stuff.
Well, you have to get that next time.
I will. No more rock gut.
No more rock gut.
No.
That's a shame.
That Canadian club.
Canadian club.
And it was old.
All Canadian Club is old. I think every bottle of Canadian Club that's in any house anywhere now is from like 1978.
They still sell it though.
It has to have dust on it.
Yeah, or in it.
And particles
Ooh.
floating around in it.
Backwash.
Take a shot of Canadian.
I had to chew. I had to chew.
Drunk. He's like, I'm gonna take a little swig of this.
I had to chew my shot of Canadian Club.
You throw one down. Dusty club.
All right. So we what did we talk about right before we get started? Let's kind of go around the horn. We're going to do a little nostalgia trivia, and we'll start with Joe because he looks pretty eager.
Trivia?
So Joe,
I'm all for trivia.
Joe, when you were a kid, what was your favorite with your family, with your brother? What was your favorite game to play when you were a kid?
Board game
or game, card game? Yeah, something that was different than like playing by yourself.
No, like any game, like with my friends too.
Yeah, it could be friends. Sure.
We'd go to Oak Park right over here,
Mhm.
not too far from the house, and we'd play blind man's tag on that one jungle gym that they had there.
Mhm.
Okay, they have a twirly slide, they have a tunnel slide, and it was me, my brother.
Did they have the twirly tunnel slide? Those are awesome.
It was a
Twirly
twirly
whirly
slide,
gumdrop.
Okay.
It was me, my brother, my friend Matt, his sister Milena, and my sister. And Matt, my friend Matt, could get on the top. You know, you had to wander around. You were the blind man, so you had to fucking,
Did
try
you
and tag
actually
everybody.
blindfold or just close your eyes?
No, we just closed our eyes. But Matt would get on top of the dome. It's still there, the play escape. He'd get on the top of the twirly slide, and like you try to go down it real quick if you were the blind man, and you try and tag him, and he'd hop up on top real quick, and then you'd run back up and try, and he'd be on the other side. And we all had our hiding spots, but I remember going there last summer with my sister and her kids,
Mhm.
and I was on the jungle gym playing with them, and I'm looking up at this twirly slide. It's not very big. It's small, and I attempted to climb up on top of that roof. And I put one foot up on a rail, the other foot up on a rail. I'm like, there's no way I'm getting on this fucking thing. If I would have tried to get up on top, which was only like 3 more feet, I would have fallen and fucking broken my neck. But when you were a kid, you were all over it.
Yeah, you would have tried it.
No problem.
If this was 30 years ago, you'd have tried it. Right?
Oh, yeah. But I looked at that. I'm like, no way.
Yeah.
I'm fucking.
You're like,
and you're only like 8 feet off the ground.
Oh,
It's
the
not very
medical
high.
bills. The
Yeah.
medical bills I would incur. Oh, I can't do that.
No, what would happen is I'd get stuck as a grown man. I'd get up there, but I'd be like, I'd start panicking. Be like, I can't get back down. Call the police. Fire department.
Maria, call the fire department. Get a ladder truck out here.
I'm just like this on top of the thing, and they have to pull their truck in, and firefighter comes up. He's like, just get down. I'm like, I can't.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, calm
Frozen.
down. Your son is stuck on top of the slide. We'll come get him. No, it's actually my adult brother.
How old is he? Is he mental? No, he's 35. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's
But I'll
normal
tell you what,
35-year-old.
this is what we would do. We would go right across out of Drive to Little Caesars. We'd each get a bag of crazy bread, take it to the park, eat it, and then play blind man's tag. And that was very fun.
Okay.
So,
Did any of you ever go to Camp Dearborn?
oh yeah.
Do you remember the rocket ship?
Oh yeah, that smelled like pee.
Oh yeah, always smelled
Oh,
like
yeah.
pee.
Everybody peed in it.
It was completely 100% metal. So in the summertime, it was always
Oh,
you burn your fingers if you touched it.
So this at Camp Dearborn too. They also had I do remember the rocket ship, and they had like the piece of sheet metal that was a triangle that was just on a like 60-degree angle.
Yeah,
and that was
And the sun would just beat down on it.
that was a playscape toy.
Yeah.
All you did was just climb up it and burn the shit out of your knees and ass.
Right.
And that was that.
There's always bees in there, like bees nests. And
Yeah, and
yeah.
they had that robot too that was kind of like the thing, and they had the 2 arms. It was 2 slides.
that was before or after my time.
Dude, but how high those were?
Because I remember on the
rocket ship,
rocket,
those
I
were
remember
high.
standing on the outside of the rocket up to the top.
Yeah, those were probably like 25 feet in the air. Those were really tall.
That was back when kids died when they fell off shit.
Hell yeah.
Scared.
You break something, you
That
break
was
something.
back when a kid would fall off something and their parents would be like, "You're fine," and the kid would get up and be like, "Oh, okay, fine."
Yeah, yes, I am fine.
Why isn't Stevie in school today?
Yeah.
I fell off a thing and he died.
My arm's pointing the wrong way. Be like, well, we'll get it fixed.
Yeah.
We're gonna finish our party. I'll take
Some tussin on that.
I'll take you to the hospital tomorrow. Suck it up.
Some tussin on that arm.
Rub some tussin in there.
My arm, it's broken.
How about you, Danielle? What was your favorite game when you were a kid?
Probably flashlight tag.
Oh.
Flashlight tag. That's an old classic that never dies. My kids.
I know.
A lot of cheating in that game. I got you.
Oh, yeah.
I got you.
See, and
No, you didn't.
one of the reasons why Danielle and her friends could play actually like real good flashlight tag is living out in Romeo. There's no street lights anywhere and no lights of any sort. So a flashlight was the only thing that you.
I didn't live in Romeo when I played flashlight tag. I lived in Washington
Oh,
Township.
dude, you walked.
Yes.
Okay, Washington Town, even worse. That's further than Romeo.
How do you not know where your
No,
girlfriend?
it's not.
Corey, I've heard of Romeo. I've
It's
never heard of
26
Washington
miles.
Township.
Exactly.
Washington Township is before Romeo.
What is that, like Van Dyke and 26 or something out there?
Yes.
Yeah, it's out in the
there you go.
sticks.
That's way out there.
But so I grew up in like a condo complex. So there were a lot of like
Condos?
courtyards behind every year and a half. There were a lot of courtyards like behind everybody's houses. So it was easy to hide, and there were a lot of like we'd hide behind air conditioners and all of that stuff.
By condos, do you mean trailers?
What? No, condos. Not the same thing. It's different.
I'm joking.
You're literally looking at the Zoom screen. You're surrounded by assholes. I'm
Yeah.
not sure what else to tell you.
And if Nick was here, he'd be surrounded by 4. It's what we do.
Cory, how about you?
What was? Can you rephrase? What was the actual question again?
What was your favorite game to play when you were a kid?
Oh, thank you.
It can be a board game, card game, outdoor game.
Ooh. We
Sibling shower time. Ah!
only with you, Joe. I think street hockey was probably our biggest thing when we were kids.
Yeah.
We'd either play. So Lawrence, and then you have North Elizabeth that dead ends right into Lawrence. So that we knew, like in the summer, that was a pretty good spot to play because you wouldn't get too much traffic down that little tiny street for people to cut through.
Yeah.
It was that, or we'd load up the nets on our backs and go all the way down North Martha to Mayor Gatto's house and play on. He had a little roundabout in front of his house that we'd play on down there. Yeah, I think street. We'd be out there 6 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night playing.
Yeah, you were lucky when you grew up too, because you had
long-ass
block. You had just across the street was a school with a big ass.
Unfortunately though, because that parking lot was awesome to play street hockey in, but the downside was, I can't remember what year it was, but a new principal took over, and she was like, no street hockey in the Howard School parking lot, like period. And so like we kind of at first like we heard that we could.
Are you doing this during school?
I'm saying the
No,
summertime.
it was during the summer. School was out.
Well, how would she know?
She was there all the time, and
It's not her building.
well,
I live in my principal's office. This is my home.
You gonna suspend me?
Well, and that's the thing. And there was a couple times like, I was still pretty young, so I kind of remember some of the interaction between like her and my dad. And this was obviously like way before he was in the position that he was later in life. But he even, like was talking to me, he's like, so you want the kids to play out in the street where there's cars and everything, as opposed to in a parking lot where it's safe and no cars are going to come through. Oh, we get windows broken and all that. He's like, well, I can assure you that's not this group of kids. And if it was to be one of them, the parents would find out about it in a heartbeat, and we'll have it taken care of. We can assure you nothing's going to be broken or vandalized. And she laid her foot down all the time. And eventually Dad's like, okay, well, then you guys play in the street if she's going to keep on calling Dearborn on you guys all the time.
Oh, she called the cops?
Oh, yeah.
Oh God! But your
She
dad
would be a great principal to have.
She actually had signs put up in the school parking lot that said no roller hockey.
in the summertime.
Yeah,
Did anyone park in that parking lot during the summertime?
they tried to. The house is right across the two houses right across the street from it.
Mhm.
They would try to all the time, and then like when they had parties in the summer, they would park there, and they would have tickets put on their cars. So like I don't know if she honestly lived in the school, and
She had surveillance.
In the boiler room.
oh, this was way before like cameras were and all that were available. So she literally just had to like show up every single day and be there for hours.
Right.
Because like I said, we
No
got called.
hockey in the parking.
Yeah, we got called on for playing hockey in the parking lot. She called on people literally right across the street, and they would never park there during the school year. It was only in the summer that they'd park. Want to be like, oh hey, if I can get my car off the street for the summer, I might as well.
Right.
But sure as shit, she would call on them all the time.
Cory be out there with his friends, and she'd come out and be like, "Okay, no," and then she'd start critiquing the game. Look at you! You can't even pass.
I wish that might have been even cooler.
Lose the skates, Dorothy Hamilton.
Here's slap shots for shit, Zaleski.
Look at you! You can't even pass.
Keep on swinging, Slesky. Maybe we give him cold.
Candy ass. How you gonna expect to make it?
Zaleski, I bet if that puck was a cheeseburger, you'd stop it.
Oh, that laughter a little bit too hard for Danielle.
I like that movie.
Good movie.
It's a great movie.
So yeah, street hockey's my go-to.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
sir.
could still go for a game of street hockey.
I probably
That'd be-
could for
that'd
about
be-
a minute
that'd
and
be
a half, and then
You'd be all right. We'll take it slow.
what about you, Bob?
There'd be a lot of coasting on those roller skates.
Pass me the puck.
I think it was probably Foursquare.
Ah.
Used to play that
With-
every
With the
lunch hour.
ball?
There was a ball involved. Yeah.
Okay. I'm
And
trying to remember
square-
the premise.
and
The premise
squares.
give me the rundown
Four
of
of
the premise of the game.
You
In squares. Four of them.
Yeah, 4 squares.
Oh, I got that part.
Joining squares, some person in every square. There was like an entry, like there was a first, second, third, and like the king square. So you had to work your way up there, and you would challenge. If someone got out, then you stepped away, and then everybody kind of slid forward in the order. But
Okay.
it's you'd have to
Jack,
bounce
Queen,
the
King,
ball.
Ace.
You'd have to bounce the ball, and if you hit a person, they didn't catch it, and bounced off of them and went out, then they were out.
That's right. Okay. All right. That's
You know what I mean?
I remember the general premise of the game, but I couldn't remember the
Yeah.
actual like rules of it.
It was like dodgeball if everyone
Well, you had to stay in a square.
in like a 3 square of your own. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
If you didn't have to dodge it.
No, you still had to dodge it.
No, you're supposed to catch it.
Well, you can't. If you catch it, then the other person's out. Then they have to go.
Oh, we didn't play
If
like
you,
that.
if you dodge it, then the ball comes back into play. I can't remember how, but
yeah. So it's
I don't.
it's
I don't
contained
recall.
dodgeball.
I don't recall like if I bounce it in your square and it hits the ground in your square and then you don't catch it, you're out. I think if it, as I recall, it was only if it hits you and you don't catch it. It bounces off your foot, bounces off your leg. I could be totally wrong.
Jack, Queen, King, and then the ace was the guy.
Yeah.
Was the king position. And we played that you had to, if you bounced it, you had to catch it. But if you bounced it and you let it go, then you would either lose your whatever.
Go.
Bounce it into a square. And then if they missed it, then you would take it. Never. But
Well, this is, yeah, 70s. So
yeah.
shit was bananas back then.
Oh yeah, rules change.
Rules were different.
Rules change. Rules.
Yeah. Doctor smoking, and obviously you could smoke on planes. It was insane.
I remember at Bryant Middle School, we had a game called wall ball, and we played with a racquetball, and there were tons of kids.
Volleyball.
Yeah, we played it too.
No, wall ball.
We played it too.
Wall
I
ball.
was at Bryant in. I was there for 8th grade.
And you'd throw that racquetball against the wall, and it would bounce back, and you could pick it up as a grounder and throw it back. But if it came back to whatever guy's on the court and you bobbled it, you had to run and touch that wall. And whoever could grab that ball would grab it and whip it at you as hard as you could.
Same game. We played the same game.
That was a great game.
It was like
that taught you to be quick and
it was like
have good hands.
1983.
Oh yeah,
at
I was there in '93.
Yeah, that's. Well, I guess
So close.
It was dangerous too, because if you bobbled it and on your way to the wall, people could shove you over. They could knock you over. Like if they knocked you on the ground and somebody picked up a ball, they'd just go wham and they peg you with it.
Well, you're playing like public school rules.
Oh yeah, we were playing
volleyball.
Wall ball.
Yeah.
Wall ball.
Oh yeah.
No, this is different. This isn't the same as volleyball.
Yeah, sure is.
There was no pegging people with balls in volleyball.
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, volleyball was in like a. We used to play that all the time in a
racquetball.
It's like a volleyball now. Yeah. That's pretty fun.
We used to do that every weekend.
When this is all over, we should do that. We should go down the Coliseum down in Taylor, and they have volleyball.
Yeah, that's exactly. We went to that exact Coliseum. In fact, if they still have the same dark, dingy, fucking brown carpet.
Oh yeah, everything's the same. I used to play racquetball there not too long ago, maybe 3 years ago.
It must be like a time machine walking back in that building.
Mm-hmm. They still have a bar upstairs too.
Is it open?
Oh yeah.
Like serving alcohol.
Oh yeah. Me and my friend Matt used to go and play racquetball there.
Holy shit.
They still have a bar up there. We should do that. That'd be fun.
I think the last time I was in that was in like 1987.
Mm.
And tell me that the carpeting is still the same.
And it's actually
Nothing's changed. Oh yeah, it's still there.
I would pass by it all the time. I still see the sign, but I didn't know if it was still open.
I used to take Jack to play right off of Wildwood Road there. He used to when he was playing with Westland.
Yeah, at the
it's right there.
Westland Ice Arena.
Mike
Madonna Arena.
There's one there, and then there's one down Dix towards Southgate. There's 2 Coliseums. But yeah, volleyball is fun.
We don't have to bring Dix into this. It's fine.
That is. Oh, are you talking about the one on Telegraph?
The one on Telegraph Coliseum, right into Taylor, is still there.
Yeah.
And then there's one down.
We used to go to Westland.
Dix Toledo in
So there's 3.
It's on Ford Road. Ford Road, right by Wildwood.
Yeah, they're all still open.
Man.
But you pay for court times like $8 or something like that for an hour. So you could pay for 3 hours between 6 people, and it's nothing.
Oh yeah,
volleyball's a fun time. Get your heart rate up
every weekend.
Yeah,
every weekend.
You can headhunt. Yeah.
I could totally see Joe in there just going like.
I know the vulnerable ones. I'm like, oh, she's just hanging back.
Joe shows up with the old quarter length mesh football jersey, tight bike shorts, gloves on.
He's like Ben Stiller in Mayhawkers, just a giant overhead slam.
Knee pads.
Right in your nose. Sure. All right. Time we got. I feel like another shot. What do you think? Danielle, you could say no. It's fine.
Oh, I'm good. I've got nowhere to be.
Let's go.
I'll be back.
Hang on. Let me finish. Finish this.
Oh, okay. All right. My bad. So the next thing I was thinking about was the thing that we've touched on before. I could be totally wrong, and even if I'm wrong, it's probably in a while. Your first concert experience. First concert you ever went to? Because everyone here is big concert fans. Everyone here is big music fans. I want to know, Danielle, do you remember what your first concert was?
Do I remember what my first concert was? Yeah.
Yeah. Who was it?
The Backstreet Boys.
Was it really?
Yeah.
How old were you?
Probably 12 or 13.
Oh wow.
I was watching a friend of my mom's like kids for the summer, and that was like my payment for which thinking about it now, I got screwed because
that's a terrible payment.
I know.
You watched them for an entire summer and only got tickets?
Yeah.
Oh, there should have been like
$150. Were probably pretty huge back then, weren't they?
I know like that was the was.
Thank you so much, Mr. Murphy, for taking me to the Backstreet Boys concert. Is there any way you could get me like a soda? No.
Like,
Soda.
I had to be there at like 6 o'clock in the morning every like Monday through Friday or whatever it was.
Yeah,
But yeah, it was Backstreet
once upon a
Boys.
time, like summer jobs were like once upon a time, like that was like payment. No, that builds character.
Right.
They get paid.
Pretty sure that's what it was because I don't remember getting any kind of cash.
For kids your age, watch my kids. Absolutely builds character.
And it was 2 kids. It wasn't just one. I mean, mind you, like the one kid I think was like 8, so she was pretty easy to watch, and then the other was a little bit younger. But I mean, still, all I got was Backstreet Boys tickets.
You could pay. You could literally pay the 8-year-old a subset of the money to watch the younger one.
Absolutely.
That's what I would.
It was Backstreet Boys. And they weren't even my favorite boy band, but...
Oh, who were they? Were your second favorite, though, right?
Backstreet Boys, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, who was number 1? NSYNC?
98.
Oh, NSYNC, yeah.
Oh.
Woo!
98 degrees, come on.
I went to 2 of their concerts.
What were your thoughts about Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson shacking up? Which I
was stupid.
Stupid? Where you're like, no, Nick, no! Why would you go with her? Stay with NSYNC. I love Nick.
No, that was 98 degrees.
Oh, shit. Was he not in? All right. Well, this is my
shame on you.
Abject ignorance for boy bands.
Nick Lachey is in 98 Degrees. Nick Carter is in Backstreet Boys.
Oh, well.
Duh.
Okay. Feel so bad. It's an honest
mistake.
Anyone would make.
It is. Oh, absolutely.
This I swear.
Daniel's so patient with me. I'm like, no, that's not it. That's okay though. You're old. It's
I'll
fine.
help you out.
I get it.
It's all good.
I'll help the old man. It's fine.
Danielle,
when he's like, I don't feel like showing you my face anymore.
I know.
Danielle, when you babysat, did you ever try and sneak boys into the?
Oh
house?
Yeah, did you?
No.
Oh come on, every baby did.
No, I didn't.
Make out a little bit on the couch after the kids went to bed.
Nope.
I never babysat anyone, so
maybe some first base on those blooming.
I was a very good child, Joe. I would never do anything like that. I was.
Yeah, Danielle.
Oh, I was.
Cory's not listening.
Your parents watch this podcast.
Yes, I am.
He is watching. He's still here. He's just not on camera.
Danielle, your parents watch
not
the
here.
podcast, don't they?
They do, but I still didn't. I'm a good child.
I was going to ask you what the worst thing is that you did when you were in your teens.
Nothing really. Like I didn't even try alcohol till I was a senior in high school.
Nothing that your parents don't know about?
That was before I tried alcohol.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let me ask you again after hours.
No, I really nothing. Like honestly, I can't think of anything. Maybe like lied to them about something, but
yeah. All right. Fair enough. Well, if that's true,
a good kid.
Cory, you got yourself a good catch there. I didn't know she was so
again. We'll talk about this when it's not on the air.
I swear, I didn't ever really do anything. I was too afraid to do anything. I have 2 younger brothers that fuck up enough that I don't have to do anything.
Wow. Okay.
It's true.
I'm not sure how to respond to that, but all right. So, everybody ready to do a shot now that Mr. Choose a Lot is done with his dip? All right. Well, Gina and whomever else is out there, here's to you.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the stuff. All right. All right. So let's, oh, man. For the old Tommy boy.
Are you okay, Bob? I've never seen Fireball hit Bob like that.
All right, so let's finish. This up around the horn.
He's just having another heart attack.
Cory. Cory, first concert. And please don't say Kid Rock.
Well, as you know, Bob, I think all you guys already know the story.
That was not the first one.
Yes, it was.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, I said
that was the first concert?
Yeah.
Wait, first concert on your own or first concert ever?
So hang on.
He attended.
I'll give you guys. Well, I know Bob and Danielle know the full story already, but for the listeners and all that, we'll give this a quick rundown. So I was
out there in Schnozzcast land.
I don't think this is going to be quick by any means, but go ahead.
Oh, it will be.
Give the cliff notes because they can get a more detailed version of the story in episodes past.
When I was 13, me and my buddy Mikey and Joe, we had one Saturday. We were going to the U of M game in the morning with Joe's parents. And then in the afternoon, Mayor Guido had tickets to who was not very well known at the time, but a performer by the name of Kid Rock. And so he said, well, if you guys are taking the kids to the football game in the morning, why not in the afternoon? I can take them to this Kid Rock concert. So when I brought it up to my parents about going to this concert, they thought the name Kid Rock was just that, rock for kids. Mm-hmm. So immediately my mom and dad were like, yeah, of course.
When I heard that,
of course they can. That's awesome. Thank you, Mayor Guido.
On the floor and collapsed in laughter.
So like, yeah, thank you, Mayor Guido, for taking the boys to this Rock for Kids concert. So we got done with the football game, got home, changed all that. Mayor Guido drove us out to the palace, and we were in a suite with a bunch of other people that I would assume were city employees and all that. And so we walk in, and Power Man 5000 opened for him. So right then and there, you could kind of see the wheels turning in Mayor Guido's head, like, this doesn't seem very kid-like. So he hangs around until Kid Rock comes out. And when Kid Rock comes out, there's like 5 strippers on the stage. Everyone's just going crazy. The weed smell takes over. And he was like, oh, shit.
I'm still in office.
He's like, yeah, I cannot be here. Mayor Guido, being the cool guy that he was like, hey, boys, I stay here in the suite. There's enough adults around that you'll be looked after. I'm going to go have a cigarette. Well, that cigarette lasted the entire concert. And Mayor Guido finally came back in the suite after the concert was over, and he bought us all roadie jackets. And we're like, oh, sweet, thank you so much. You didn't have to do that, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, well, I wanted to get you guys T-shirts, but the only T-shirts they had either said, I'm going to fuck your mom, or do you want my balls in your mouth?
Nice.
And I figured those weren't very appropriate T-shirts for you guys. So we need to get going. So we left, and come to find out a couple of days later, yes, my mom had called Bob and Christy and spoke to Christy and mentioned that I was going to see this concert that was Rock for Kids.
Yeah, and it was the day of. It was the day of. You had already left to go to the show.
All right.
But she didn't know. She still didn't grasp who Kid Rock was and what it was that you were going to go see. And that's what was so hilarious.
Yeah. So and then there's what? And like I said, we were in a suite, so we weren't like on the main floor or anything. But even like the guys in the suite were just obliterated. Not someone a 13-year-old should have been around at the time.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, we were waiting in line for the bathroom in the suite, and these 2 guys were just pissed drunk. And they were like, man, how am I supposed to teach or coach kids t-ball when I'm drunk? And you got to pee. You just can't do it. And I remember me and Mikey and Joe standing there looking at these guys like, what are you talking about? No one's coaching anything right now. We're at a concert. And the whole idea of being wasted to us at the time was not, it didn't click. Yeah. But
now Cory, shorten up your stance and don't swing so hard.
And the one guy, he looked at us, he's like, don't you guys agree you can't coach t-ball when you're drunk and gotta pee? And we're like, yeah, sure, buddy. I don't see why you could. So yeah, that was my first concert experience. And ever since that, I don't think any concerts really stood up to it.
Oh, how could it? No, that bar was so high.
It was set very, very high.
Lord,
at a very, very young.
Your whole life is probably just spent to match, to come close to that experience.
Maybe one of these days.
All right, we're going to take a break here in Schnozzcast and come back for the second half, and then we will come back and we will start immediately with Joe's first.
Joe's like, excuse me.
Like, what about my first concert?
Motherfucker, just
Nobody cares.
relax, sir.
Easy, boy. Easy.
I'm relaxed.
Don't give me that fucking sourpuss face. All right, come on, Sour Patch. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back. Okay?
Say,
All right.
10 minutes.
See you in 10 minutes.
We're back.
Joe?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you usually pipe in with, hey, we're back.
Oh, and we're back.
There it is. I got to put that on a, wait, do it one more time.
Do it again.
Yep.
And we're back.
Perfect. I can snip that out. I can snip that out really easy and put it on a button.
Put in a snippet and a clip it.
The snip it and the clip it.
Wait, I can do it more nasally.
If you prefer. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, ready? Go.
And we're back.
Okay. Yeah, I could replace the one on the button with, well, I can't replace that one because that's one of the stock sounds that comes in the mixer.
You don't even know what those buttons do, Bob.
I fucking do know what those buttons do.
The purple one does
but I just
purple
have
thing.
I refuse to put like a cheat sheet next to the mixer that tells me what button does what, because it's more fun when I fuck it up and I don't get it right.
But that's what professionals do. They have a cheat sheet, so they know what's going where.
You know what? We're not here to be professionals. We're here to entertain.
Evidently
and it's
not.
more entertaining when I get it wrong, and we all laugh.
All right, Bob, where's the death button?
The death button? That's easy.
Welcome death, everybody, because it's inevitable. It's going to happen.
All right, perfect.
There was one episode I remember editing that every button you, hit, you did get it wrong. You're like,
oh yeah.
Well, there was also an episode where Nick, because he was sitting right in front of the mixer, tried to do the button right after making fun of me for not getting it, and he also couldn't get it right.
You got like 4 or 5 wrong in a row. You were like, dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. Totally fine with that. This is not a podcast about like here's how to work a mixer.
No, if you want your podcast to be rinky dink, then
podcast.
Your podcast.
Yeah,
to be rinky dink.
The old Schnipplecast.
It's right up there. This is good for K through 6.
I'm really surprised they didn't come up when Jason was on last week. The Schnipplecast.
Oh, it did.
Oh, did it? Did
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
I think one of the first things he said was, "I miss my Schnipplecast, boys."
Oh, good. Good. That means it's on the internet forever now.
That is true.
Maybe Jason was poo-pooed.
Oh, he was poo-pooed. All right. So picking up where we left off, we were talking about first concerts. We'd heard Ms. Danielle Finn, who went to see the Backstreet Boys when she was 12. And Mr. Cory Slesky, who went to
saw Rock for Kids.
A Rock for Kids show with Mr. Bob Ritchie when he was also would you say you were 15?
13.
13.
Yeah.
Oh, regret.
Not even in high school yet.
Your mom should be ashamed.
I'm sure she. Well, I'm sure she might not have remembered at this point, but if I brought it up, it probably.
Oh no, she does because I've reminded her every couple of years ever since then.
Good, as you should.
So for the last 15 years, at least once every year or two, I remind her about that. Hey, remember that time?
You let your son go watch strippers on stage while everyone got drunk and high?
All them boobs on stage, man.
All right, Joe Guido.
Boobs on stage.
Your first concert.
Okay, I'm not going to – my first concert was at St. Andrews, but I'm not including that because that was rinky. No. I want to go to like big venue. Joe Louis.
That wasn't the question.
Yeah, no, because these were bands that I don't even remember the name.
Okay, all right. I'm going to let you tell me about the one you want to tell me about, but first answer the question. What was your first concert?
All right. Well, my first concert was at St. Andrews, and my cousin Kimmy's friend from high school was playing at
What? Cool.
Yeah. Well, he was in a band called Auto with one of Dawn's friends, Bub, who played bass. His
Bub?
brother played the drums, yeah. And it was just,
B-
it was a
B-U-B,
small.
Bub?
His name's Bub.
His legal name is Bub.
His
Well, they
Christian.
call, I don't know what his
God-given
name is.
Christian name is Bub.
No, I don't know what they call him, but they call him Bub. But he was the bass player. Just
Unfortunate.
Okay, I'm not
can
gonna.
I continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
See,
Sorry.
see, now we're going downhill. Now Joe's mood is
You
really
said
starting
I
to
went
tank.
with Bub, and you don't explain like that wasn't his name.
His name's Bub. Everybody calls him Bub. I don't know his real name.
Okay.
But he was the bass player. Justin was the singer and guitar player. His brother played the drums, and they were called Auto Reverse. And I think I was just out of high school. Kimmy was still in high school. And there was like 25 people in there. There wasn't very many people in there.
Yeah.
And so that really wasn't my first concert. My first concert, big
No,
concert.
it really was your first concert. It wasn't the one you'd rather talk about, but
No, but here, like Cory, what she saw Backstreet Boys, he saw Kid Rock. My first big name concert.
no, but those were legitimately their very first concerts. It's not. Like
But
they
he
were,
was
that's the one I want to
13.
talk
I
about.
was 19 years old.
It doesn't matter. I didn't say it.
Then
you
never
have-
mind. You know what? Fuck it. Bob, go.
I will go because I literally you can talk about the one you want to talk about, but don't say
I
it was
do.
your first concert. Your first concert was the Auto Reverse.
Yeah, and it was a great time. It was boring. I couldn't drink, so yeah, it's a great time.
Okay. All right. So what was it? What was the second show?
No, I don't want to tell you about the second one.
All right.
I don't want to tell you about my actual first concert.
No, you can't say that. It's not your actual first concert.
All right, but the concert I wanted to go for, we actually had a good time. First big band I saw was System. I think I was 22. My friend Matt took me. His sister was dating a guy that knew a guy that worked for the Riff at the time, so we got really good tickets. And we went in, and there were 4 bands that were supposed to play. The first band didn't show up. I don't even remember their name. The second band was called Bad Acid Trip, and all it was drums. Like they jam for like 5 seconds and then let the drummer take over and he'd be like, ah, bah, 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 and they go back into a 5-second jam. So they were pretty boring. The third band was Mars Volta, which was fucking awesome. They played crazy.
I love them. Yeah.
Mars Volta was crazy, and that was a good time. But about halfway into Mars Volta, I started getting really fucked up. Really fucked up. And then the headliner was System. Now, I remember the concert. I remember every song that they played, and it was fucking great. But we had way too much to drink, and my friend Matt's boyfriend drove us home. We got back to my house on Park Street because Matt was living with me at the time. And it was kind of raining. We got out of his car. They took off. And I remember crawling underneath my Expedition, which was really jacked up high at the time, and to get out of the rain. And I remember just falling asleep under there. I'm like, all right, I'm okay. I fell asleep under there. In the morning, when the sun came up, when I woke up, I was on my couch in my living room, my white couch in my living room, having thrown up in my sleep, barfed all over the side of the couch, which probably could have killed me if I would have been on my back. I would have joined Bon Scott and John Bonham. And then I remember talking to Matt. I'm like, dude, why did you put me? He's like, no, you walked into the house. I said, bullshit. I said, I went under my car. I remember this because it was raining. I went
You'd
under
have
my
also
car.
jumped on my ass if you'd been eating a ham sandwich.
No, it was like Cheetos or something. I barfed up Cheetos. It was vomit.
Mama Cass,
It was
deceased.
orange. It was
Ham
orange.
sandwich.
I left my car. I'm like, Matt, no way. He's like, no, you walked inside. I'm like, bullshit. You and Neil dragged me inside and put me on the couch. Or helped me inside. I would have been fine underneath my car. But other than that, Mars Volta was crazy. System was fucking great. So that was my first good concert.
Okay.
Not-
Yeah.
not-
That's
not
accurate. Your first good concert.
Not the 25 people that ours played to. So
But that's still a good memory. That's still a good.
it's a great memory.
Here was
I
my
went there with
first
my
concert.
cousin.
Yeah.
I was good looking back then. I had hair.
You still have hair.
Still had a beard. I have hair. I just used to.
Yeah.
Well,
Not have hair.
You seem to be on a track tonight toward not embellishment, but rewriting history.
what do you,
Oh, that wasn't my first concert. Oh, I didn't have hair back then.
well,
Or I had hair then. I don't have hair now. Like no, of course you have hair now. Of course that wasn't your first concert.
well, apparently with not having hair right now, I'm ugly. That's why somebody tried to hook me up with some. not very attractive girl.
Danielle wisely was like, "Nope, I'm not being part of this."
I can't hear. You.
We can't
Oh,
hear
we
you.
lost your audio.
Got to
I
plug
looked
those
at it, I'm like,
headphones in.
I can do better than that, you bastards.
Do you unplug your phones? Can't hear you.
You're not muted.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, Corey. I will talk about my first concert if you want to walk into the other room.
Can you hear me now?
Ah, hey.
There you go.
I just
Hey, Ron.
unplugged him and plugged him back
Wait.
in.
Joe, do your thing again.
What am I doing?
She's back.
She's back?
Yeah.
And she's back!
There it is.
Did you
It's not on the
record?
board yet, so we got to do it live.
I probably already told this before, so I apologize if that's the case. But my first show was
Jimmy Buffett?
91. 91. I was in college, down to the state to the Breslin Center, and saw the
Flash.
Smashing Pumpkins opened up for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. My first show. I didn't get to when I was in high school. I wasn't allowed to go to shows. But we got there, and before the Pumpkins went on the stage, there was another band that came out to open for them who was not on the bill at all, and they just blew everybody away. And their lead singer kept diving into the crowd, and at one point he clambered up the speakers to hang off the railing of the upper deck.
Sounds like Pearl Jam. to
It was
me.
it was Pearl Jam.
Knew it.
Because Bob told you. He just told you it was.
Well, for the listeners, if we have any, they were not on the bill at all, and they hadn't released 10 yet.
No, I guessed it was Pearl Jam. He didn't say Pearl Jam before he said
you
that.
you did guess
Yeah.
it was Pearl Jam. Yeah.
Corey's like, oh,
I may
I
have-
that. I'm like,
I may have told the story before. I feel
no, but
like
I knew it was. Once he starts climbing up, yeah.
we were all in awe. Like, I don't think anybody really. And then the Pumpkins came on, and we'd already heard Ish, their first album, and loved it, and we were looking forward to seeing them. We knew they were going to open for the Peppers, but it wasn't as good as I thought it would be, because everybody kept talking about this fucking crazy band from Seattle with this crazy singer who kept climbing out into the stage. So it was a hell of a first show. That was the first concert I ever went to.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Almost comparable to Rock for Kids.
Well, you were 13. You were 13.
Well, yeah, I mean-
I was 19. She was young.
Right.
How old are you, Bob?
I was when I was 20.
19. Corey was 13. And you were how old, Danielle?
I think 12
Yeah,
or 13.
see, I mean, you can't.
Yeah, but that was the target audience of those groups at that time. So
Well, yeah.
I wanted to tell my story about the first good concert I went to.
So I
Oh,
did
sorry,
ask. I reached out to Gina and asked her what her first concert was.
Barbara Streisand.
Well, she pulled a Joe on this one, believe it or not, and she might never say anything to me again.
I don't want
I'm
to
just
talk
saying
about
that.
the first one. I want to talk about the best
Well,
concert.
she basically did. She said 87 Def Leppard and Queensryche.
Queensryche. I would kill to see Queensryche.
Nice. And Def Leppard.
So yeah, once Joe gets done telling his story, I'll put it out there to everyone.
The Empire days for Queensryche. Oh,
Yeah.
And she goes, not technically my first concert. Jack Wagner was my first.
Jack Wagner from General Hospital. Love
Ugh.
Love it.
That's what she says is her technical first concert. So
That's cool.
Michael Bolton.
But you got to go. I mean, that's a different answer. If there was a concert where you're like, that concert was so cool, then that's the answer to what was the coolest concert you went to, not the first one. Like, you got to be honest. Like, especially
Right.
if some of us are going to put their information on a dating site, and they're going to be asked questions from their prospective partners. What was your first concert? You can't start off on a lie. You got to tell the truth.
I did have that listed as one of the notes to potentially talk about.
I don't know if you
I
want.
was going to ask him before we just started talking about it, but
Right. Or we could do it now while he's stepped away.
so listen, everyone, real quick.
Yeah, real quick. Yeah, if you
No,
see it,
we
step
can
on
ask
here,
him about
man.
it.
No, that's cool. All right, so thank you, everybody. That was awesome. I wanted to hit those two things tonight, but before we go into pick of the week, we are going to end up doing gentleman's agreement, which we should have done last week, like a new round of it, because I think everybody except for Nick has watched everything they're supposed to watch.
Correct.
But so before we do pick of the week, I do want to see if we could just get our picks done. So I'm going to, at least for the Zoom session, I'm going to try to share my screen.
I'm going to step away for 1 second, refill my drink.
Okay, this will be a good time then for me to
Refreezing your drink?
totally fuck Cory in the choosing. All right, so
what is this, Microsoft Excel?
Yeah, you make a little formula, whatever. So I've got all four of us here: Bob, Nick, Cory, Danielle. Obviously, Nick's, we're not going to pick him here, so I'm going to kind of ignore that row. But so when I enter this formula, or just open Excel, then close it again, it should recalculate. All right, so Bob got Bob again, Nick got Dan. Okay, so let's do it again. Okay, this might actually, no, it doesn't work because I'll have to take Nick out.
So Nick,
I don't want to script the formula. But what we'll do is, so I got in this round, I got Danielle, Cory got Nick, and Danielle got Joe. So if I just change to Cory got me, then we should be fine.
Who does Joe get though?
you?
No, I have you.
Why in the? Oh, that's a good question. Let's just replace.
Joe's got to buy?
There we go. Okay, so just replacing Nick. Did it? Okay, so.
Wait, now, so Cory gets me?
Oh, let me see if I can fix this real quick.
Oh my God, this math.
Boom. Okay. Bob, Cory, Joe, Bob, Cory, Danielle. Nope, can't do that. All right. Bob gets Danielle, Joe gets Bob, Cory gets Joe, Danielle gets Cory. Sound good?
I got Cory last time and he gave me that crappy rapper thing.
You don't like what he gives you today.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to keep this here, and we can come back to it. But just so everybody gets a feel for like who they're going to get, and has a little bit of time to think about it while we're doing pick of the week. So I drew Danielle, Joe, you drew me, Cory, you drew Joe, Danielle, you drew Cory. Cool.
Sounds good.
All right, stop share.
I don't like it.
What, you don't like it?
Nope.
What, you don't like who you drew? You don't like who drew you?
I don't like who I drew.
You drew me.
Yeah, but I don't like that.
What do you mean you don't like that?
So I don't like it.
Okay, no one cares. Moving on.
You just this is the very last time you drew me against. It's the second time in a row. You gave me Let's Take Manhattan, and I watched it.
Relax.
I don't know what the fucking problem is.
I'll give you a good one.
I know you will. I watched the last one. All right, I don't know what your deal is, but we're good. So everybody knows who they got. They can think about it now.
What my deal is?
Yeah, your deal. What your dealio is, dude. Dealio, dude. Are we gonna give each other the fucking stink eye for the rest of the podcast? I actually kind of hope
Didn't know
he's
what was
frozen.
going on there.
I hope he's frozen like that. All right, so let's move on then to pick of the week. Cory, I feel like you already know what your pick of the week is. Why don't you jump in and go first?
I do have my pick of the week already.
Okay.
My pick of the week is a website called superimpulse.com. And on superimpulse.com, they sell vintage toys and things that most people might recall from their childhood. Now, not only that, but one of the things that you can get on superimpulse.com is something that Danielle ordered me as we were walking through the store the other day. I was like, you know what? I've been watching some of these shows on Netflix and Amazon Prime that like Comic Book Men. There's this other kind of documentary series that these guys go out and search for their favorite Nintendo games and all that and come across toys along the way and everything. So I purchased like a couple yo-yos that I think I talked to you guys about that kind of took me back to my childhood. And we were walking around Target and I'm like, you know what? A Stretch Armstrong. I have not had one of those in years. So they actually had a full-size one that was newer. And I'm like, for the price, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to go that route. But I remember seeing a mini Stretch Armstrong.
A mini Stretch Armstrong.
Yes.
Okay.
So I couldn't remember if it was Target, Walmart. I couldn't remember where I saw this at before. So I mentioned Danielle. She was trying to look it up. We couldn't find it in the store. So a couple days later, I was woken up to a surprise. As you can see right back here.
Unopened.
Miniature Stretch Armstrong.
Unopened?
It is unopened. And
Are you gonna? Why don't you open it now and play with it? Let us know what it does.
Well, that's what I was kind of waiting on. I do like it in the package, but given the price point, I could always get another one. So
Yeah, and
It wasn't expensive.
I was gonna say if it's a collector's item, then you probably don't want to open it. But if it's not,
No,
they produce those by the millions. Cut it open.
Yeah.
And show it.
I
show us what
ordered
does.
it while we were walking around in Walmart and he couldn't find it.
Right.
This better be good. I'm fucking going to bed.
You need to narrate this, otherwise it's a lot of dead fucking air for a
okay.
podcast.
all right. Well,
Almost stabbed myself.
He's
look
stretching.
at that. It does actually work. That's crazy.
Why wouldn't
Why
it?
wouldn't it work?
I don't know. I just didn't think it was going to.
Didn't stretch at all.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like basically like that was it.
But
That's-
that would
I mean,
if it didn't stretch.
that's insane.
Now, Cory,
Wow.
Joe,
grab both his legs
Easily amused.
and his upper torso, like this.
oh, all four.
Upper torso in your left hand. No,
Like
you're,
that?
you're not listening. Upper torso and arms in your left hand.
What the fuck, Joe?
Yeah. The legs in the other hand. And pull as hard as you can.
I'm not gonna break him.
You don't have to break it. Just
Oh, break him. Absolutely.
no.
I want
Go
to see.
for the. I want to see how far he can stretch.
I'm not gonna break him. I like him a lot.
I'll buy you a goddamn new one.
Well, when that new one gets here, I'll break this one. So, superimpulse.com. You can find your childhood nostalgic needs in normal size and in very many forms.
Okay.
Do they have crash test dummies on there?
I scrolled through a bunch of their stuff, and I stopped it because he was about 3/4 of the way down the list.
You should go to superimpulse.com and check it out and see if they have.
But I know they did have mini Rock'em Sock'em robots as well.
So is everything mini? They just smell small.
No, like I said, they have normal size stuff, but they sell mini stuff too.
What's it called?
Superimpulse.com.
All right. Awesome pick, sir.
Well, and that's all thanks to Danielle. She was the one that ordered me the mini Stretch Armstrong.
Danielle's the greatest.
Thanks.
You want to go next? Do you have a pick of the week?
I do.
All right, let's hear it.
So I've had a lot of time to scroll through a lot of things. Not working for 5. We're going on week 6 now, I think it is.
Is it week 6? Oh my god.
Yeah, I think so. As of today. So I found this company on Facebook that they sell hair like colored wax.
So sorry, they sell what?
Like colored wax that you put in your hair to change your hair color.
Wax in your hair.
Mm-hmm.
Like strands. The thing. Does the wax look like strands of hair, or is it just like
No, it's like straight up. It's wax. You take like a scoop of it, rub it on your hands, and then you put it into your hair.
Okay.
So so I got 2 colors because I wanted to try it. Because I've always wanted to color my hair a different color, but I'm always like afraid to actually do it.
Okay.
And this stuff I was a little hesitant to use because I highlight my hair, so I was afraid it was going to change my hair color.
Mhm.
But I was assured by the company, which is called Common Panda, that it would wash right out. It's safe. It's safe to use on kids. It's safe. It's like it won't do anything to damage your hair. So I tried it yesterday, and I did half of my, like from probably here down was purple. And then I washed it out and I had no problem getting it out. You would have never known I put anything in my hair.
So it's only in your hair. It's only coloring your hair as long as it's in your hair, and when you wash.
Yes. As soon as you wash it, it comes out.
Okay.
And it comes in 6 different colors.
Okay.
But I mean, if anybody's that bored and you want to make your hair a different color.
Can I ask you? Let me ask you this. Can Joe use it on his beard?
Probably.
Okay.
I don't see why you couldn't. I'd say any
On the tips.
Yeah.
Guy Fieri beard.
Joe.
You can use it on curly hair, so I don't see why you couldn't use it on a beard hair.
There you go.
Wait, what are we
I
trying
was
to
say,
do?
what was the mention of pubes on there?
Really?
What?
Curly hair.
If I made the product, I'd mention pubes.
Yeah, no.
All
So
right.
that's my pick.
Okay.
Common Panda.
Common Panda. Okay. Joe Guido, do you have a pick, or do you want you need some time to think about it? Take your time, buddy.
Give me some time. I have to think.
All right. What if I went, and then that'll give you some more time?
Go ahead. That'd be perfect.
Okay. So I just finished a book I was reading and just started to crack. I'm in a couple chapters into the Beastie Boys book, and gotta say, fucking brilliant, fucking genius. If you're a Beastie Boys fan at all, you owe it to yourself to go out and pick up this book. It was part of like a trilogy that they planned where they published this book, and it's a thick fucking book. There's a lot of shit in this book. And then they did a sort of a stage play where, not really a play, but they had some theater bookings where Mike D and Ad Rock went out there and just did a kind of a Q&A and told some stories to kind of bookend what they did in the book. And then the third part of it, the third leg of the triangle, is the Beast Boys documentary that debuted today on Apple TV Plus. Is it Apple TV Plus? No, just Apple TV. So, which, if you don't have a membership or a subscription to Apple TV, I think they do like at least a 2-week free trial. So, no better time than to do it now, and so you can watch the Beastie Boys documentary.
That is definitely one that we're gonna have to add to the list.
Yeah.
We do have TV.
Oh, well, I have an Apple TV too, but you have to Apple TV. You have an Apple TV device.
No. Yeah,
Oh.
we just I got a new one. I
Okay.
upgraded and it came with a year free.
Oh, you're so lucky. All right.
Yeah, if you get any new Apple device, it comes with a year free of Apple TV.
Awesome. Definitely take the time and watch it.
That will
So,
definitely be the next documentary.
yeah. But let me also recommend the book, unless you hate to read and you like. So, Cory, this is not for you, but for everybody else out there. Beastie Boys book, fantastic, utterly fantastic. It's one of those books that I don't want to put it down. So, Joe, does that buy you a little bit of time?
What's the name of the book, Bob?
Beastie Boys book.
Oh, it's called the Beastie Boys book.
Yeah.
Okay. In Beastie Boys fashion, I guess that's my bad. I should.
By the way, what I didn't know that I learned within the first couple chapters was they are not called the Beastie Boys. That's one of the things that's annoyed them for the last 30-some years.
It's just Beastie Boys.
Yeah. They're like, look, would you call Nirvana the Nirvana? No, they're just Nirvana. We're Beastie Boys. That's it. We've always been Beastie Boys. Anybody who says we're the Beastie Boys, they're fucking douchebags.
I guess I could see how that'd be a little annoying, but then again, though, too, like there'd be times you'd have to reference them as the Beastie Boys. You couldn't. I mean, I get it as the title of their band.
No, you don't.
Did you see Beastie Boys?
Yes, I did. Awesome. So
No, you got to put it down.
so
there.
easy. It's so easy.
I think people do it because it's like boys is at the end, so you feel like you have to say the with it. Where like Nirvana is just a straight name.
Their name is a plural noun.
Right.
This is a singular. Yeah. But
It screws with your grammar.
it does. I mean, it is what it is. They're just annoyed that people keep making the wrong choice.
I could understand, like, you're calling, that's not our band's name, you're not calling us the right name. I get it.
Interviewing them and literally asked them the question. Like, oh, I've always called you Beastie Boys, but I've heard that some people, I see people call you the, well, like, which one is it? I've never known which one is the real. They're like, thank you. No one ever asks us that. You're awesome. And by the way, it's Beastie Boys.
Hang on, though. I do like the Beastie Boys now, but why didn't they ever just come out and be like, hey, everyone, listen, we're Beastie Boys, not the Beastie Boys, if it bothered them that much?
Because when you're a band, and especially like you're not like a Barry Manilow or a Michael Bolton, like you're trying to maintain a certain level of street cred, certain level of cool, that just makes you sound like a dick. So at that point, you're just like, oh, we're happy to get the attention. You know?
I guess.
I've lost interest now. All right, Joe. I don't know. I can't give you more time than this. You got something?
What?
Pick of the week, buddy.
Yes. Who am I picking for?
No. This is the pick of the week. Gentlemen's
Your
agreement.
pick of the week.
What would you recommend? Do you have something you recommend? Did you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would recommend what my backdrop is over here.
What is your backdrop?
It's Doug.
Okay.
One of my favorite childhood cartoons.
Okay.
I agree.
Found on. Is that either a Nickelodeon or
It's a Nickelodeon cartoon.
Okay.
I believe he's on Hulu.
It is on Hulu.
Okay.
On Hulu. Sit back and just
Soak it in.
have a good time.
Just let it.
One of my favorites.
Okay. I didn't know it was on Hulu. I don't think I've watched a single minute of Doug in my entire life, but it was probably just because it would happen after I was a child.
I would say you were a little past.
My kids were born, so
Yeah,
It's a good.
Yeah, it's
cartoon.
before your kids would have gotten into any cartoons.
right. Now, is it a cartoon for kids? Is it like Ren and Stimpy kind of a thing, or like an old school?
Mm-mm.
It's a clean kids cartoon.
Okay.
The boy's just trying to like figure out where he's in the world, and he's got his friends, he's got his dog. It's a good cartoon.
So
He's a dreamer. He likes to dream. He has a lot of daydreams that he goes through.
it sounds like this is a cartoon version of Calvin and Hobbes then.
Possibly.
Close.
His
That'd be
dog,
very
his dog is alive. His dog doesn't talk though. So
Okay.
give it a shot, man. I like Doug.
pork chop.
So there's
Pork chop.
the only equivalent choice that I would have in that way that would be like a clean cartoon that I would recommend to watch that I think might age well
To me,
would be, what was the one? What was the cartoon? It was right about, well, it was later than that. It was later than that because that was like the 90s, right? Doug?
Yeah.
Yeah.
early 90s.
Early 2000s. Timmy was a boy who had like a fairy godparents.
Oh, the Fairly Odd Parents.
Fairly Odd Parents. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No.
My kids watch that all the time. I found myself watching it because
No.
I don't feel great about it.
I know. I was just saying because I know the show. I've seen the show, and to think of you sitting there actually watching it, anyone that's you actually have to see the show or know the show a little bit to think about you sitting there watching it. That's absolutely fucking hilarious.
No.
Yeah.
Not gonna watch.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a great show.
I'm
I
up with
just
something better.
that is funny.
Yeah, the you know what really did it for me was
The start of the show.
there was a character's name. Oh, it was the dad. Whoever his dad was. So it was all about a kid, Timmy Turner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who had these fairy godparents who would help him get out of jams, and it was like along the lines of like a Bewitched kind of a show. Like you've got some super natural friends who are going to help you to get out of normal fucking rough spots. But his dad, whoever voiced his dad, had a great cartoon voice, like along the lines of like a David Puddy in Seinfeld, like just a voice that was I'd never heard anything like it before. And he did this thing where either Timmy or his dad had like a nemesis, and every good TV show character needs a nemesis, and it was Dinkelberg, and the way that he would say the name, and so every time his dad,
It was his dad. It was like his boss or whatever.
it might have been,
Yeah.
and he would just go Dinkelberg, and the way that he would say it was just I loved it. I would find myself just chuckling with the kids. And so whenever I would walk by the room and they would be watching Fairly Odd Parents, I'm like, oh, is Dinkelberg made an appearance this week? Well, maybe Dad. I'm like, oh, we'll make room on the couch here. We're going to watch together. But that's really the only one that would be like a clean show that I would recommend. They watched a lot of shit. Like my daughter loved the Powerpuff Girls. Jack didn't really watch a ton of cartoons, but she loved the Powerpuff Girls, and that kind of wore on me after a while. I'm like, I really gave it a try. I'm like, oh, we can watch it together, but after like 5 or 6 episodes, I'm like, that's it. I cannot do it anymore.
Yeah, that one's a bit much.
Yeah, like I saw where they were going. Like I get, and a lot of the shows that they liked, like those cartoons of like the early 2000s, were, you could see what they were trying to go for, like a certain sensibility. Like we're trying to carve out our own niche, like doing something that's different than everybody else does. But you gotta, very few of them had like a formula that you'd be willing to watch.
Oh yeah,
40 episodes in a row. Because that's what they would do. They're like, yeah, can we get the box set for the Powerpuff Girls? It's got 60 episodes.
Oh, great.
So much. I'd be like, 60 episodes? No, I think they're out of stock on that. I'm not sure.
Keep on checking.
Yeah, because I know, like, I don't want to, I can't be roped into sitting on the couch for 60 straight 30-minute episodes of the Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah, no, fuck that. Yes, Joe, we get it. That sounds horrible. So before we do, are we going to Gentleman's Agreement next?
After we do this shot, bitch.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're at hour 47 already. So you guys hold on the fort. I'm going to go grab for real quick.
Pitter patter. So, one of the dogs has taken over your spot on the couch, just so you know.
Of course she did. Because you let her.
I didn't let her. I was over here.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then if we can also squeeze that in there. I got some stories and stuff to show you guys about some exciting news that's transpired over this quarantine and month.
This podcast?
What's that?
On this?
Yeah, I'd like to share it on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Whenever Joe gets back, we can do the shot, cover gentleman's agreement, and then like I said, if we can, I done some crazy things, Bob.
Have you?
I have.
I can't wait to hear.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm very sure. Did Joe take his liquor all the way down to the base?
I don't know. Are we really going to wait for Joe? Because I'll do another one when he comes back. I don't care.
That's fine. We can do that.
All right. Here's to you, audience. Please join
Just
us.
turn that way.
Libation. If you need to go grab one, could do one with us. Then go ahead and hit pause now. And you're back. Here we go. Here's to you.
Ooh. I see you gave up on the shot glass, Danielle.
I was using the lid
What are you?
and it gave it a weird taste, so I X-nayed the lid.
You what?
Hence, Axnade.
Yeah. It made it taste weird. I'm not doing it again.
Pretty sure that's why caps weren't meant to be shot glasses.
Exactly.
Oh, hey, Joe, welcome back.
It had like a taste.
I had to go get my.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, all right. We're going to do a Schnozzcast shot, everybody. If 45 seconds you have. So here's to you, Joe.
Is he frozen?
No, probably not. No, I see
No,
him.
he's blinking.
Yeah, I'll say. All right. Well,
All right.
if you're not going to do it, then.
Oh wait.
Woo. All right.
Wow.
I said I had to go get my shot.
Did. And then you sat there frozen like a goddamn deer in headlights with your shot.
Exactly.
Gentlemen's agreement. Let's move into it. So I know that
Ramping up.
Cory, you already know what you got, what you were just going to recommend, and you drew Joe.
Who'd I drew?
Joe, you drew me.
Bob.
Cory, can you hear me still? Cory.
Sorry, my headphones took a shit.
Okay.
I can hear you now.
I can hear you too. All
All
right.
right. So I'm going first. I got Joe.
You do.
My movie pick for Joe is a documentary called Free Solo.
Oh, good.
Have you seen it, Bob?
I have. Awesome.
So good.
Awesome.
Joe, have you seen it? Joe?
Joe, you need to talk. We're an audio podcast, so just say yeah or no.
All right.
All right. Go ahead. Keep talking, Cory.
So Free Solo was a documentary Danielle and I watched the other day. And it's about a professional climber, and he does a lot of.
Yeah, he does barehanded stuff.
Okay.
No net, no ropes, no nothing.
So when he does a lot of climbing with ropes and secure climbing, but he also does a lot of unsecured climbing that is just unbelievable. And so what this documentary walks you through is he goes on this journey. He wants to free solo and climb without ropes. This mountain in Yosemite called El Capitan that's never been climbed without ropes before. Not only, dude, I've never been. Danielle went to sleep, and I've never been so gripped and taken back by a movie in quite some time. I had to continue watching the rest of the documentary even while she was sleeping because I was literally standing there shaking in my slippers of what was going on.
And then told me about it when he came to bed.
Sorry, Cory.
Oh, dude,
No, you'll never believe it. I was shaking in my slippers.
I seriously, I've
Cory.
literally never been so gripped by a movie. It sucked me right in. And then on top of that, like the cinematography done in it, fucking insane how they did this.
Cory,
So-
I've seen it.
You have seen it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
He travels around in a van and he looks for places to climb. And he has a girlfriend throughout the movie, right? And she's trying to get him to buy a house. He's like, "Oh, I want to do that." So he goes up to that Yosemite mountain, right?
What's it called?
What's the
The mountain called?
it's in Yosemite.
Yeah, it's called. What's it called though? What's the
I
actual
don't know. I don't remember.
All right. Well, I'm calling bullshit. You have not seen it before.
No,
That's
I
why
have
that's
seen
why
it,
you were
'cause-
saying, wait, you were looking it up.
No, I remember that his girlfriend traveled with him and he was going to climb it one day and he knew how dangerous it was going to be. And he went back to his camper and he asked his girlfriend to leave.
No, you did
Can't
not.
do this.
You literally just read the cliff notes on it.
No, I didn't. I've seen this. It's a skinny guy and he like does like pull-ups like in his van and stuff like that. Right, Bob? Right?
Yes, that's absolutely
Yeah.
correct.
So I've seen that. Seen
Okay.
it.
So Cory, I just sent you a text.
Yeah, I got you. So, all right, then if you claim you've already seen Free Solo, then watch Muru on Amazon Prime.
Oh, so now we get to give multiple
We've already seen it,
ones?
so you get another one.
You can't do it if you've already seen it. You got to watch something else.
Clearly don't want to watch something you've already watched, which none of us want either. So he's giving you Maru is on Amazon Prime, and Maru is a very similar it's climbing documentary, but it takes a different path in how it's done, and it's a really good story as well.
Maru. Who are you?
Are you? Do you have Amazon Prime?
I have Prime.
Yep. It should be free for you to watch. And I have seen it myself. And I've also seen Free Solo, and I would put the two of them like right neck and neck. Like, it was very, very good. Very well done.
Okay.
And more at stake too. And well, Free Solo was different because wasn't his mentor killed while climbing?
No, it was a bunch of his friends and people in the climbing community that he knew
Okay.
that had died, and then like there was like 40 people that had died climbing, and then there was actually like a guy that Uli that he was actually really close friends with that died from climbing. And so his girlfriend Nicole was like, or no, that was I can't remember her name, but she was like, yeah, that it's really messed up. Like, he has a wife and kids, and he's like, well, he knew what he was doing. So basically telling her like,
Yeah, now I'm remembering it. So Free Solo really focused a lot more on what it's like to be a climber and how to sort of reconcile that drive to climb with being, in a way where other person also understands the risks that you're going to take.
Socially disconnected.
Yes. Yeah. You kind of odd duck, but the two of them meshed really well, but at the same time, she was like, I don't mind because, so Maru is not quite like that. Maru is more a personal journey, but there are 3 friends involved, and the 3 of them make it story is crux of the story rather than more to sort of more focused on Alex Honnold and his journey.
Okay.
So Joe, I know it was a last minute thing, but since you've seen Free Solo, Maru is very much along the same vein, in the same vein. So,
And there you go, Maru it is.
okay, I think it's an excellent pick. It's great. I think you're gonna like it. It's not like a 3-hour film you can watch, and you're gonna want to watch it all the way through, and over like that. Well, you have
Cory.
Cory.
I'm gonna have you watch Dexter because you sounded very against it the other day when I watched it.
Wait, watch what?
Dexter.
Dexter the series. He's like,
I
fuck.
can't watch an entire series.
Oh, but just watch the first couple episodes. That's
Never
it.
done this. The rule has been, what are they, hour-long episodes or 30 minutes?
Per hour.
So if it's an hour-long show, then the first 2 episodes. That's 2 hours. That's equivalent to a movie.
All right.
And from that point, if you don't get hooked on it, hook, and Danielle really
That wasn't very. He
Joe,
poo-pooed on it. He didn't even try. Now he has to.
There's a lot of shit that he's not interested in or he doesn't know anything about.
I think he would really like it though.
Tell him about it. And that's the whole point of the gentleman's agreement this is your opportunity to plead your case. Going, here's what I want you to watch and here's why I think you would like it. And I put some thought into this pick for you and I really think that you should give it a shot. And we're not making you watch the whole first season. We're not making you watch, 5.
I know, because the whole first season that take a
movie's equivalent of the TV. So for Turn, it was for when Nick recommended it to Danielle, and then they were hour-long episodes, so it was at least 2 episodes.
All right.
So yeah, I personally have never watched Dexter, not a minute of it. I've heard good things about it. I've heard some of the are good, some of the seasons are bad.
Yeah.
It's all a grab bag when it goes like 6-7 seasons, right?
Right. Exactly. 7 or 8, I can't remember.
7 or 8? Jesus.
I think so. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Yeah, well, it's tough for any series to maintain that over 7 or 8 seasons. So.
Oh, absolutely.
So there's ups and downs, but all right. So that's a solid pick.
All right.
I'm actually kind of jealous because that's one of those shows that lots of people have recommended, but I've never ever watched. And if you gave it to me, I'd be like, oh, and I guess I have to now.
No, there were 8 seasons.
8 seasons. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
that is the same thing I've heard. I have heard people rave about it, so I guess I shouldn't shit on it too much until I watch it.
I've watched it twice.
What
Mm-hmm.
the hell's wrong with you?
It's really good. I told you the other day I have something with people just watching things about people killing people. I don't know. I really like the murder documentary stuff. I don't know. I have a problem. It's so interesting because people are so freaking crazy.
That's true.
Like I was just telling him, we watched another documentary on Ted Bundy. 3 or 4 things on
you
him
guys
now.
have been recommending Ted Bundy when it gets to gentlemen's agreements because there seemed to be a never-ending amount of them, and everyone.
I just found a new one that was on Amazon. We watched. It was 5 episodes. I don't know. I like watching about people, serial killers.
Serial killers? I guess so. I'm not sure what that says about you. If I was a psychologist, I'd probably be able to make a.
Well, I told Cory I don't know. I don't know if it was because I really like psychology, so like trying to figure out like why people are like the way they are.
Could be. You never know.
So I don't know.
Joe, you're back. You drew me.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta pick something that you'd like me to watch.
I would like you to watch Peter Pan.
You're killing me.
No.
The animated one or the live?
No. The live one with Mary Martin.
Ooh, that
From
one's good.
1954. Cyril Richard's Captain Hook. It's a
Who?
musical. There's a lot of singing.
Who's Captain Hook?
Cyril Richard. He's an Australian actor.
Is it on Disney
wonder if
Plus? Does anybody know?
It's probably on Disney Plus, or you can probably find it on YouTube too.
Okay. Good, because I thought you were gonna. Well, it wasn't called Peter Pan. What was the one with Julia Roberts as Tinkerbell with Robin Williams? It was-
Hook.
Oh, Hook.
Now we've all seen Hook.
Yeah. No, I haven't, and I'm glad you're not making me watch that.
Oh, Hook's a good movie. Though.
I've heard it was a god awful piece of shit.
Nah, it's good.
I'm happy to. No. You've been. In fact, in the last 2 or 3 weeks, certainly in the quarantine times, you've mentioned Mary Martin a couple of times, and in particular.
I say I've actually seen this one. I used to love it when I was a kid. It's
Great.
very good.
Really good.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, I'm totally down for it. Again, this is 2 picks in a row. You've drawn me, and I am happy to watch your fucking pick, dude.
Sure.
Okay,
You like Muppets in Manhattan, right?
I did. Well,
There you go. You're gonna love Peter Pan.
okay. All right.
Very good.
It's gotta be Mary Martin though.
No, that's the one I'm going to watch.
Mary
Absolutely.
Martin, Peter Pan. Okay.
Absolutely. I'm in. All right. Sweet. All right, and I drew Danielle. All right, so here's where it gets interesting. I was looking through my Netflix history. So let me ask you a couple of questions, Danielle.
Okay.
And Cory, feel free to step in here.
I will. I'm trying to look up what you can stream Peter Pan on.
That's fine. I can
Come
pay
again.
$3 to rent it if I'm fine with that.
I'm kind of curious because I want to watch it.
Oh, okay, that's fine. Danielle, have you seen Step Brothers?
Yes.
Okay, I thought you might have. Have you seen Molly's Game?
No.
Jessica Chastain and Idris Elba on Netflix.
On Netflix. Molly's Game.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be my pick for you.
Okay.
Molly's Game is
It sounds interesting.
well. So Jessica Chastain, if you've watched her in Zero Dark 30, it's the same kind of sort of really like arresting, sort of striking performance where you're like, wow, I didn't know that she was capable of that. Like I certainly didn't. When I saw this one, like I had some, like I saw her in Zero Dark 30, but I thought, well, that was because it was a war movie. This is very clearly not a war film. So, and it was written and directed by Aaron Sorkin. So if you've ever watched, what did he do? I mean, he's done a ton of shit, but he wrote A Few Good Men.
Okay.
West Wing. Steve Jobs. Moneyball. American President. The Newsroom. A lot of different. He was a writer first. Scripts are really, really tight, and so the dialogue is like you're gonna, if you like that kind of thing, Idris Elba and Jessica Chastain get fucking killer monologues to do, and they just play off each other like a back and forth, like a really quick, snappy banter.
Okay.
And it's a great story, and it's a true story.
Perfect.
So I watched.
I love true stories.
Blown away by the story, and buying the book because I wanted to read the actual book that it was based on.
Okay.
Generally, if I know something was a book and I knew about the book, and then I hear it's going to be made into a movie, I really something in me can't watch the movie until I've read the book first.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I didn't know there was a book. I just knew there was a movie that I happened to watch and then found out it was based. So I ended up buying the book and reading it afterward.
Okay.
I think you're really going to like it.
All right.
So Molly's Game with Jessica Chastain, free to watch on Netflix.
All right. I added it to my list.
Excellent.
So, Bob,
Yeah.
Good luck with Peter Pan. You can't even rent it on any streaming
You
service.
rent it anywhere?
I have the DVD.
You do?
Then that's the route you're gonna have to go.
All right. Well, if you can come over with your gloves and drop it in my mailbox, try to keep your fucking shitty germs all off of it, then that'd be great. I'll watch it that way.
Yeah, because I think this is literally the first movie I've ever looked up on Just Watch.
My shitty germs.
Yeah.
I was really delayed.
It was delayed.
Are we going with the
Was
shitty
that
germs?
really delayed, Danielle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your shitty germs. You're gonna drop off your DVD. I'd be happy to watch it. Because if I can't rent it, I don't want to go like, no, pick something else. Like if you have it, I will absolutely watch it. You just got to get it to me.
Wait, so you want me to drop it off
Yeah.
at your house?
Yeah. We'll put that shit in my mailbox.
I was like, just leave it in his mailbox. I'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
And I have to put that in your mailbox.
Yeah. How else you gonna get it to me? All right, you it's like talking to someone over like an old timey radio phone.
Can you hear me? Loud and clear.
So okay,
I'll get it to you, Bob.
Cory, you had something you wanted to touch on before we call it a night here.
Yes. So as you can see, the background's changed a little. Not in the kitchen anymore.
Kansas.
Are you in the bathroom?
I wish I was. That'd be a nice spot to set up the podcast. But as you can see,
Schnozzcast.
my the dude picture is now hanging up.
I see that.
I also have a nice little setup in front of me, and I'll send you guys pictures of both.
Cory's man cave.
I'm not sure I really need to see, but I feel like what's really happened.
It's more of a man corner.
You've taken over the house.
Closet, man
to some
closet.
degree, and
It's like a nook.
Danielle's just generally tolerating you.
Well, so yeah, during the quarantine here, I've moved a bunch of stuff over here,
as you should.
and it might be a little permanent.
Yeah.
So it's been a change.
Looking at the camera.
Did you
Well,
propose?
I'm sorry. I say because and the reason why I want to send you guys the picture because
Idea or not?
no, it's a good idea. Danielle's been very nice and has allowed me to take over this corner that used to have this big chair in it. That
Just next to me in the spare bedroom.
Okay.
that I basically just used to put my shit on when I got home. And I'm like, well, if we're going to move stuff out here, I'd like to have, my little computer area that I had just made at my house.
Right.
I'm
I'm surprised she didn't stick you in the basement.
No, he wanted to be in the living and have to be holed up in another room if he was off and I was up.
Well, and that I think that was a good selling
Nice
point on
of
my
you.
part. I'm like, yeah, if we're here together and I want to work on videos or whatever, I don't want to be in a whole other room where I can't even talk to you. So set this up. You're on the couch watching TV, whatever. I can still be over here and work on videos and still have conversation with you.
Knew that's going to change pretty quickly.
Well, it's okay because now I have my own
3.
little quiet area
years.
too. So if I need to go away, I can
You're
leave.
gonna
3
escape.
years.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
3
I see,
years you'll be at each other's throats. Get the fuck out of my house.
I see where this is going. But no, Cory, enjoy the salad days.
3 years.
Well, so like I said, as you can see, I moved the dude picture out here and it's now hung up here.
She loves.
I purchased the
I was saying,
picture.
she's the one that got it for me.
Yeah. But for you to hang where you are, not where I live.
Well,
I mind. So
and then so the other day I went into the spare bedroom to kind of look at some stuff and see where we could move this big circle chair. And I see the dust that she had got, and I'm like, God,
Like a Papazon chair?
it's like a big circle.
Papazon.
I have no idea what that is, but sure.
The Papazon chair. Absolutely.
It's a big
So-
chair. It's very comfy.
Papazon chair.
But it was just like a catch-all in my living room. So
Yeah.
and so when I was looking at where we're going to move that chair, I went in, I saw the desk that she had in the spare bedroom that contained her 1998 laptop and printer that I've never
2018 or no, 2008.
seen her use, or
Still pretty
I
old.
don't use it.
I'm in here all the time doing work and blah blah blah. So I'm like, the desk that she had, it's got a little more surface area to it, and I'm like, well, why don't we move that desk out here? And the desk that I have at my house, I can bring here and we can put your laptop and printer on it. She's kind of like, oh, okay, well, I guess so. I'm like, I thought it was a good idea. She's like, well, because there's like a little shelf that has that my desk doesn't have. It doesn't have a drawer and shelves.
So horrible. Cory, get used to your ideas no longer being good ideas.
No, they're all bad.
So the only down point
Compromise.
the only downside to her was that
There is no compromise.
Yes, there is. There has to be, otherwise stuff doesn't
now.
work.
Yeah, the compromise will soon give way to wait.
well, and so I said she was kind of like, no, the desk I got it with a drawer and these two shelves because that's where I keep like, the mortgage stuff and taxes and all that. I'm like, well, we can get like a filing cabinet or a filing system of some sort to put all that in and keep it in the spare room.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, okay, all right, we can settle on that. So yesterday we did a bunch of work at night as far as moving stuff around and cleaning stuff up. And the pictures I just sent you to were the desk yesterday. And then today she also went and picked up the 232 picture that you and Nick got for me.
That's awesome.
And I hung that right above, actually where I'm sitting right now, it's directly above me.
Right.
So yeah, I've been able to turn this little corner into my workspace now. And
right.
like I said, things are a little more permanent out here. So I said, you guys take a look at the pictures. Let me know what you think.
I'm happy for you guys. Like
Thanks.
I remember being in that sort of like, sunrise of a relationship where things are new and you're like, no, I'm willing to give you huge amounts of leeway to do whatever you might like. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Cory,
yes.
enjoy it
Yeah.
because it's not going to last. Your little man closet will be moved outside into the cold.
Yeah.
Possibly garage.
The garage does have a heater, so
Hey.
That's
Saying.
where we're gonna end up eventually. And when you are, you're gonna look back in these pictures of you sitting in that little nook. Those are the days.
I mean, if this is all I get, I'm happy with it. I got my own little corner. I got my stuff.
Mhm.
The only other thing once we move on from this would maybe be the bar downstairs, and that's about it.
Oh boy.
Funny thing is, though, my brother has his condo down in Florida. He has one room, one bedroom for his stuff. The house is hers. And she doesn't pay any bills. She does not own it. My brother does. Pays no bills, does nothing, has no job.
At some point, love trumps.
Amazing how that works out, isn't it?
Love trumps a monetary stake in the.
No, Mike's putting up with her because he doesn't like to break up.
Well, let's really hope that neither of them, especially her, are watching this.
No, they're not. Trust me. Trust me, they're not watching.
I'm aware, because that would mean we could count them among our audience, which we can't. And so, before we bring a close to episode 70, let's do a.
Yeah, I'm out of shot. I'll drink the rest of my beer with you.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it'll be. We'll do a.
Huh?
Sayonara Schnozzcast shot.
Goodbye, Schnozzcast. Eradicator!
All right. Well, dear listeners, it has been a pleasure, but now we need to bring episode 70 to a close. So for the Schnozzcast, Bob saying goodbye. Cory,
Good night, everyone. See you in the next one.
Danielle,
Goodbye, Bob. I hope you have a good night, Bob. Go Bears.
was that your James Mason?
No, I can do a good James Mason.
Please send us out with a good James Mason.
I don't know, but James Mason might be stopping by. Is that all right or no?
I may have to. I'll tell you this much: I'm gonna replay that and that quote in the episode on a repeat because there's many layers.
James Mason might be stopping by. My best James Mason.
I think you're thinking about in Blazing Saddles, the guy who was the hangman in Blazing Saddles, who was hanging the horse.
I don't think I could fit in any more to next Thursday.
That's exactly it.
Well, that's kind of James Mason.
I
Mason might be stopping by.
Who made that? All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll.
Night.
Good night.
Be safe. Love you all.